entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey. All right, welcome back to this week's vlog, where I'm going to share with you all or show you all what it's like when I have yoga gigs. So today I'm actually going to be doing like a mindful minute. It's really like a 10-minute thing, but a mindful minute meeting with my corporate job. So I'm going to take you guys along, aka we're literally just going to probably be in that corner and just show a snippet of me teaching my coworkers ways that they can decompress through some easy stretching and breathing. Tomorrow, I am going to be teaching yoga for the Urban League of Central Florida, which is super cool. I'm super excited. It was reached out via LinkedIn. And if you watched last week's vlog, and I'll make sure to pin it somewhere here, you know that we be talking about LinkedIn and not to sleep on it. And I actually wanted to just share a story time. I've been getting contacted a lot lately for things that I thought I wanted, and then you realize, like, I don't think this is what I really wanted, right? So not to say the company's name at all, we're not going to say that, but I just want to share the experience. So I was reached out by a yoga company, and long story short, it was a lot of back and forth emails. And then some others, I'm not going to get into all the details. And I hate when content creators say this, but I don't want to like, what's the word? Talk crap about cause they're doing their thing. And long story short, they sent me an email after I did, my audition, and they pretty much were like, I'm not a fit. And the part that was super interesting was when I submitted, I will say this. So they did ask for an audition video. I sent one from a couple years ago. They did not this is me like, they did not specify how long ago the yoga class audition they need. So I was like, even though I've taught more recently, and that's why I'm always sharing, because people are always watching you, right? And so it's not like I haven't taught in 2 years, but the last thing I have that's on YouTube, that was the amount of time too. They wanted a certain amount of time so they could like really see how you teach. So anyways, they were like, oh, you're not, what do they say, bubbly enough or whatever. And so I was sharing that with my husband. I was like, yeah, they said like I don't fit their brand in the sense of like I'm not bubbly enough. And Jamie was like, but you're not like that when you teach. And I was like, I know, but we need the money and da 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 da. And like, I didn't say we didn't need the money out loud to him, but I was like, I was thinking very scarcity, like as I reflect, right? This literally happened last week. So I like to share these things so y'all understand, like when you see people like getting these opportunities and doing things, like, I don't accept every opportunity that comes my way. And every time I live in the space of scarcity, it bites me in the butt. And I know people listening like, no, Lesline, like it's not biting you in the butt because it's like that rejection is God's protection. Yes, you are correct. But when it's happening, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But so anyways, I was like, yeah, I know it's not me, but I'm going to do a fresh audition for them and be bubbly. And when I tell you that was the most like, it wasn't that uncomfortable, but it didn't feel genuine, right? Because when I teach yoga, with my yoga teacher voice, I'm very calm. I am not bubbly. I'm not, we're not dancing to Beyonce, and I love Beyonce. Like I'm gonna be but I hope you get what I'm saying. Like we're not doing yoga to pop music when I teach. That's not my style, right? So it's like, Lesline, then why did you even send the audition, right? Well, they reached out to me, and I was like, okay, well, let me try. So anyways, I say all that to say they said I was not a fit, right? So let's say this happened on a Monday. They're like, oh, you're not a fit. But they didn't say that. I was like, be direct with me. Like, it's okay, right? But I get in this day and age, whatever. But I was like, please just be direct to me. Like Brene Brown says, being clear is kind, right? So they're like, oh, after they saw the fresh audition I sent, they're like, oh, send another audition, right? I'm actually getting into this, I guess. Send another audition, but this time do blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? I have a lot going on. Like, as y'all see, like my friends and people are like, how do you get all of these things done? So like at noon that Monday, I'm going back and forth with this yoga company, right? And that morning, like around 9 o'clock that morning, my supervisor reaches out to me. This is before I know that I'm like not a fit for that other yoga company. My supervisor reaches out to me and says the following. I'm paraphrasing, but she was like, I remember, a couple years ago you did like a mindful minute with for us, and like it's your talent, like it's your gift. I'd love for you to do it again, blah blah blah. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't say that out loud to her, but in my mind, I was like, okay, like, mind you, I didn't know that in 2 hours that I was gonna like be going back and forth with this company and like not move forward and do another audition. So that happens in the morning, and then a few hours later, the company reaches out and is like, yeah, no, you're not a fit, right? And then like after they say I'm not a fit, and within the hour or an hour later, the Urban League reaches out to me via LinkedIn DM and was like, can you do the chair yoga? All of that happened in one day. When I tell you, it is like a roller coaster of emotions being an entrepreneur. Like, I understand it now. And I understand, shout out to my friend Merlene, like entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey. So I say all of that to say God is amazing. God is good. Sometimes, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I feel so all over the place, right? Especially when I decided about about a month or so ago that I'm not going forward with school. And I've been saying back to the basics, right? This should just be a series in itself. But the moment I decided to go back to the basics, which is coming back online, and I've been online, but I've just been dibbling and dabbling, right? Throwing spaghetti at the wall, if you will. But the moment I decided to come back to the basics of why I came back on social media 4 years ago to show new moms how to put themselves first, specifically Black new moms, how to put themselves first through the use of yoga, through way of my business, Lesline Does Wellness. That's how I started 4 years ago, right? And I got, I guess you say distracted, and I'm not going to like judge myself with that word. But now that I'm like, okay, I'm going back to the basics. I'm not going to use school as a distraction. It's so interesting how God has just supplemented and provided. And yeah, so I'm going to take you guys along for today and tomorrow and just share that I do actively teach, because my YouTube is, if anything, like a gift, a card, like a business card, right? Okay, so it is when we're setting up right now. I'm setting up for a yoga class. This is the virtual one. And it's important that, like, right now, just to give you context, it's 1:09 p.m. I don't do the workshop, we'll just call it workshop, till 3:45. Earlier today, if you want to hear a funny story, with my job, they gave me a new computer. And I couldn't figure out for the life of me why my camera wasn't turning on. I do have like this privacy thing over the lens. So I was like, oh, let me take that off. It still wasn't turning on. Tell me how I'd call IT this morning. So I called IT around like earlier this morning, right? Because I was like, oh, I have to show my face later on this afternoon. Let me make sure my camera is straight. So before I called IT, I tried to troubleshoot some more. As soon as I call IT, one of the first things she says, she was like, is there a protective lens on? I was like, no, I took it off. Tell me how, after the poor girl troubleshooted with me for like 10 minutes, she was like, can you just like try it again? When I tell you this new computer, I'm looking at it, it comes with like an internal private screen. So you have to like slide this little toggle thing. I thought that slide toggle thing was like to lock and close the computer. Mind you, there is no lock or close thing on the bottom of this device. So when I tell you, I felt like let me not say even like that, but I was like, oh, this is what, like, because my parents be like, be patient with me. So anyways, crisis averted. All I had to do is undo that. But so anyways, the setup, without showing you all like my work computer, you want to, if you're an aspiring yoga teacher watching this, or you're a yoga teacher that is wanting to be more in like corporate settings and stuff, either way, you want to have like minimal things in your background. I do have like a painting thing up there that my friend got me, but then I don't know if you can see it. It's very minimal what I have. So I have like a salt lamp, fake one, and then a little plant, a fake plant. So I'm trying to figure out, I'm looking at my the actual camera. I'm trying to figure out because they need to see me fully. So I'm pushing and not to, I want to show you guys like the setup but I don't, let me just leave it at that. Don't need to show my work computer. Like y'all, oop, where did I do? But it's so important that you do a pre like setup of your screen. Okay, I don't like, I tell you the other side of the camera, miss. But they don't need to know that, you know? Because that's one of the first things when you're a yoga teacher, no matter what you're going through as a yoga teacher, you want to convey, hold on, y'all. You want to convey peace. You want to convey just calm, you know? I'm putting you guys down so I can I don't like that you can see the cord of the lamp. So what I'm going to do is I am going to clip you all as best as I can. We are going to hide the cord as best as we can. And I need like a third trinket, if you will. My sister-in-law will be cracking up at me because I'll be liking trinkets and stuff. I do have this empty blue thing. I might, but that's too big. Okay, that looks way better. Again, I can't show it because I don't want to, for sake of keeping like my job privacy and things like that. So that your bottom is slightly hanging off of the chair. And I want both of your feet to press down into the floor beneath you. Quick, while I put my shoes on, I'm here for the second yoga gig this week. Downtown is behind me. I'm at the Central Florida Urban League, which is actually in Paramore, which, if you don't know Paramore is within Orlando, but it's, oh man, there's a lot of history, like Black history in Paramore. I actually did a tour a few years ago with the African American Chamber of Commerce within Paramore, and when I tell you, we as Black people have so much history. But anyways, let me see if I can put you all somewhere that's where you're gonna be. But yeah, I'm gonna put my shoes on. I have 5 minutes. I like to be a little early, but I did tell her I was on my way, so I made sure to do that. Like, always message the person, like, hey, I'm on my way. This is a 3-hour parking space. I'm not going to be here for 3 hours. I'm only going to be here for 30 minutes. Ooh. Okay. No, you're fine. You're fine.
Oh, screen time went up.
I know. Into the floor beneath you. And I want you to make sure your feet are hip width apart. I want to thank each of you for doing that for yourself. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.